Hello, everybody, and today I'm finally here to talk about Daredevil Born Again. So, we are going to be talking about the first two episodes of this show. I know there's two more episodes coming out this week, but I'm a bit late, but that's okay. We're here to finally talk about Daredevil Born Again. So, I gotta say, this season so far does not disappoint at all. It is definitely a continuation of the Netflix show. Some people think it could be a reboot, but it has the same cast from the Netflix show, so I might as well assume it is a continuation. But it's been years since Daredevil has ended, but apparently this is a new, more gritty Daredevil. But what really works about this show is it is not being kid friendly at all, and it's not gonna hold anything back. It is just gonna be an adult show for sure, and that's what makes it work because they don't have to worry too much because they can just go with the adult themes with this show. They don't have to hold back the violence or the language. They can just go all out and make the season they want to do. And that's what really shows throughout this whole season of this show. So basically the story is where it picks up years after season 3, and we see Matt, Foggy, Karen hanging out at the bar, but when Foggy gets a cryptic call, things are interrupted by the return of Bullseye, who's now wearing a costume of his own. It's not like the comic book accurate one, but that's okay. But he ends up shooting Foggy, just starting out with an all-time high with that unexpected moment. But Matt suits up as Daredevil once again, and he chases Bullseye, but unfortunately Foggy does not make it. And it's very surprising because I was kind of suspecting they were going to kill one of the characters off, but I was not expecting Foggy. But what's even weirder is that they announced the actors are going to be in season 2, so I think there's something fishy going on with Foggy's death in this show, but we'll have to wait and see. But Daredevil ends up going full beast mode on Bullseye. He ends up screaming, "Why?" And he ends up throwing Bullseye off the building, and he actually does survive, but he is injured. And the cop ends up catching Daredevil when he takes his mask off, realizing Matt is Daredevil, and he ends up throwing his mask off a building, and he unfortunately quits being Daredevil. So that was definitely a wild moment for sure, and it flash forwards a year later as Matt is still a lawyer but not Daredevil, and he still has his memorial service from Foggy, but he feels he hasn't gotten any justice for what has happened until he does go to court where Dex is there, and he gets life in prison, of course. And Matt makes his statement. Of course, it's a nice little speech for Foggy, but he gets some closure. But while that's all going on, we get the return of Wilson Fisk, played by the awesome Vincent D'Onofrio. He is just already killing it as the Kingpin, but because of his past behaviors, he decided to change a new life. He has decided to become the mayor of New York. If you saw the post-credit scene in Echo, which Daredevil also made a cameo in that show, but Kingpin's running for mayor, while Vanessa, his wife, is, I guess you can say, the new Kingpin of the show. But while that's all going on, Matt is doing his best to keep a low profile as he ends up confronting the Kingpin in this show. They actually have a dinner scene where they talk out their differences, what they've been up to for the past couple while, and it made me realize that Matt has not really had interaction with the Kingpin since season 3, because if you saw Hawkeye and Echo, that's what Kingpin's been up to. So he's been doing his own thing. But yeah, I like the conversation they do have. The chemistry between these two is always really good. You definitely feel it when you do watch it in the Netflix show. But what really worked about the show, like I said earlier, is it definitely feels like the Netflix show. Like, you definitely see it throughout it. Like, it doesn't feel like other MCU projects. It just feels like it could be its own thing. But not too much action happens throughout this episode besides the first scene of this episode. But we also are introduced to a new character. We see Ben Urlich's niece. So if you don't know, Ben Urlich died at the Kingpin's hands. But it looks like his niece is a journalist too, investigating what is going on the various streets. But I think that's the first episode. It ends on a high note. But the second episode was I'm going to say this about the second episode. It's alright. It's a more conversation episode where we see Matt. He's trying to recruit it appears to be the new vigilante in town, the White Tiger. And the actor, by the way, passed away from cancer, unfortunately. So rest in peace for him. But apparently he has been sent to jail, and Matt's going to be his lawyer, so he can clear his name from the various charges he has faced. That's what we mainly get throughout this episode. But Kingpin's also trying to work things out with his wife. They end up going to marriage counseling, and it's quite interesting the way they do it. But throughout this whole episode, it doesn't take till the very end for Matt to finally unleash his full-on Daredevil mode. He just smacks the bad guys after he encounters one of his other clients when he's trying to make a lead to what he's doing, to the various crimes that happen throughout the opening of this episode. We also get like this subway fight between criminals, which leads Matt on his trail. But when he finally unleashes his Daredevil mode, it's quite badass, as he tries to hesitate, but he just takes them out. But he also has a girlfriend in these 2 episodes. He meets a girl, I forget her name, but it looks like she could be the new love interest for Matt ever since he broke things off with Elektra, ever since we don't know what happened to her after the Defenders. We also see him with Karen Page, but that doesn't really work out. But I don't know if Karen's going to appear in the next few episodes. She wasn't in the last one, surprisingly. But it's just straightforward Matt Murdock. So these 2 episodes, it's kind of just feels like setup episodes, like for what we could be getting. I feel like we're going to get a lot more with this season for sure. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So, yeah, I'll definitely review the next few episodes. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if we're releasing an episode a week. But we'll just have to wait and see. And I'm meeting Charlie Cox next week. I know I keep saying it throughout these Daredevil reviews if you watch them. But definitely check out Daredevil Born Again. I will definitely show my photo once I do take the photo at the convention I'm going to. So, yeah. So I'll probably give these episodes probably an 8 out of 10. So that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.